All right, so our expectations for the past few days and the next coming days are pretty linked to Google Classroom. So if we go to Google Classroom, after the Chapter 1 test, we had Chapter 2 terms. So a quick review of how to do that. The purple link is the form quiz. I like to open it in Safari as normal. When you open things in Google, it's not actually all the way open. And so while it would work here, I can't split screen with something else in Google Classroom. So in the upper right hand corner is a Safari icon. I'm going to tap that, and that opens the quiz in Safari. I can then go back and drag Google Classroom up, split screen, hit done, and open the red attachment, which is the list of terms. At this point, I should just match the terms and definitions. So you want to carefully type in your name and your class period. And if I look at the first one, what is the maintenance of a stable internal environment called? I'll check homeostasis and I'll zoom in. And I got lucky. The maintenance of a stable internal environment is homeostasis. So that is the correct answer. It matches. Now, the questions are shuffled in a completely random order, so your quiz should look different. But homeostasis will never come up again because I used it. What is reproduction in which a single parent produces offspring that are genetically identical to the parent? So I'm going to check heredity. That's the first option. The passing of traits from parents to offspring. All right, so let's see. Heredity is the passing of traits from parents to offspring. Doesn't match. Sexual reproduction in which two cells join to form a zygote. That sexual reproduction produces offspring that share characteristics. Two parents. That's not right. Homeostasis. The maintenance of a stable internal environment. We did that. I don't need to check it. It's already done. Asexual. Reproduction in which a single parent produces offsprings that are genetically identical to the parent. It's asexual. And I just keep going and matching. In this question already I know it's not homeostasis or asexual, so I'll check sexual. This says reproduction in which two cells join to form a zygote. Reproduction in which two cells join to form a zygote. It matches. So that's doing the terms. So hopefully you got those done. They were due yesterday, but there's a little bit of grace here. Let's go look at yesterday's work in the book. So if we go back to our second most recent assignment, Chapter 2 questions, and we scroll up, we have the slideshow. Remember, we want to push the square arrow and get that out there into slides where it's easier to edit. And so the first question has major typos. It should say, where does all the energy for the strange new creatures? So, note to self, students, check your writing before you share it with 100 people. So, it's fixed here, but it won't be on yours. In Mobile Cave, where does all the energy for the strange creatures ultimately come from? So, what story was that? Well, let's look. That was on page 34. This is the story. And I'm helping you because of the typo. There's no sunlight here. So the source of energy for most living things is sunlight, giving energy to plants, when plants give the energy to the animals that eat them, and so on. Not the case in the cave. Bacteria use hydrogen sulfide gas, and that then lets them make energy, and then things eat them, and other things eat them. So the correct answer for number 1 that I'm helping you with, double tap to get the keyboard. Hydrogen sulfide gas. That's done. I just did that for you, so hopefully you can put that in. And so you keep going through all 7 questions, and the page numbers are correct. And slide 1 is today. Slide 1 was Thursday. Slide 2 is not. Slide 2 is not for Friday. Friday we're doing something else. So Friday we're going to take some notes. Monday we're going to do slide 2, which is pretty easy. It has 3 questions. And then Tuesday we're going to do slide 3. So let's go back. Don't turn this in You don't want to turn this in because it's not all due until next Wednesday. But if you check the instructions, I tell you which days and what page numbers and what questions I expect. So we go back to the newest assignment, Chapter 2 Notes. And if you scroll up, you have a slideshow for notes. It's just 2 slides. Again, you want to push it into the Slides app. And there are 10 things to take notes on. And we will definitely have real brain fart. We will definitely have some of these things end up in today's GIM kit if you zoom in at 11 or to 11:30. So I need to split screen again with, if I back it up, the notes. So in these notes, all living things have cells. What I would write here, I'm in the wrong slide. All living things have cells in number 1. So I would write up here, have cells. And then the description, I would write cells are the smallest form of life. And so this is really easy. Why am I making you do this? Because I want you to read these things, and if you don't type them, a lot of you won't read them. You might also be asking, why is Ultron in the background? Well, the characteristics of life are highly debated, and what counts as living is also highly debated. And there is a decent argument to say that in the near future, robots or AI programs might be considered living. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, to do the second slide, these notes come from, if you back up Google Classroom, the second slideshow, the bare necessities of life. And it's very similar. So when I talk about air, I need to name the parts of air, N2, O2, and CO2. Don't worry if you don't know how to subscript or drop that 2 down. And then I need to say what those things mean. So nitrogen is inert and basically useless in the form that we find it in the air. So I would write that in the description. So again, this is writing so that you will read it. The other place to find those things is on my website. So on my website, I have also linked these notes. Why does this one have a bear? Well, that's taken from the Jungle Book and the song The Bare Necessities. This is B-A-R-E, not B-E-A-R. And I didn't mean to click that, but stuff happens, so I hit the back button. All right, let's get rid of some things. And so we had some extra videos. What are you? It's actually really complicated because you are not just you, and you are constantly changing. And then when computer programs and robots get consciousness, do they deserve rights? Are they considered fully living? That's a complicated question. And it may seem silly right now, but give it 40 years and it may be a reality. So hopefully that's everything you need. If you have misplaced your textbook, I haven't updated it yet, but clicking the cycle day gives us the chapter we're on. So currently there's a slideshow of the chapter 1 book pages. Here, the pictures aren't as awesome. It would be so much better if you had your book. But if you don't have your book, I like to put that slideshow in here. So do your best. I hope this helps. And email me if you have questions or come into my Zoom. If you forget where your Zooms are, under schedules, if you tap it, we have a picture of all the Zoom times. So we've got math, then English, then science from 11 to 11:30, then guidance, ESL, chorus, social studies, and the whole gym art computer rotation, and the home ec shop rotation. So that's there on my website as well if you need it. I hope this helps. I hope to see you. If not today during Zoom, then on Monday. Have a great weekend.